Hi, I'm Catherine Gray, founder of She Angel Investors and co founder of the She Angels Foundation. I'm also the podcast host of Invest in Her and an award winning producer, author, and TEDx speaker. Our show, Invest in Her, features phenomenal female founders and funders. As you know, women receive less than 2% of venture capital funding. Our series is about accelerating the funding of women by connecting them to funding resources. Let's meet today's guest. Welcome to this week's episode of Invest in Her. I'm your host, Catherine Gray, founder of She Angel Investors and co-founder of the She Angels Foundation. Also, a general partner at Silicon Valley Women Founders Fund that invest in women in tech, and also the producer of the new movie, Show Her the Money, about the underfunding of women in the venture capital world and how we're going to change that. As you know, every week we have an incredible guest. And this week I'm super excited that the focus is on LGBTQ plus entrepreneurs. We have the director of data and insights at StartOut. Please welcome to the show, Irene Tang. Hi, Irene. How are you?
I'm doing great, Catherine. I'm really glad to be here.
I'm glad to have you here. You're coming to us from Texas, right?
Yep, I'm based in the Houston area. I mean, it is challenging at times, I think, to be in a place that is not necessarily known for LGBTQ plus community. But I will give you a fun fact about Houston. We actually have a lesbian bar here that shows women's sports. So there is still a active community here, even if, statewide, we're not necessarily known for LGBT rights.
Right. Well, thank goodness you're there. And what I love about Start Out is that it's all over the country. You had shared with me that the biggest cities, of course, are LA, New York, San Francisco. But I'm so glad that you're in other states that, like you said, otherwise don't really have the support. And especially for LGBTQ plus entrepreneurs, which is really our focus today. And I did want to mention that Start Out, one of the founders, is an investor in our film, Show Her the Money. Lorenzo Theon, who amazing guy, helped us with the movie and also had helped start Gangels, which is a gay angel group that helps invest in LGBTQ entrepreneurs and others, and has a lot of community allies in that organization as well. So he's just doing such great work in this arena to level up the opportunities for entrepreneurs in this community. And just so grateful to him for that. Um, how long have you been with StartOut and how did you get involved?
Yeah, I've been with StartOut for over 3 years now. I first found out about StartOut through a friend of mine who had been volunteering. As you mentioned, we have a lot of local chapters from, Austin, Chicago, New York, San Francisco, and he was volunteering with StartOut, and that's how I found out about StartOut. Wanted to keep up to date on what StartOut's doing. I happened to see a couple of events. I attended one of our virtual events in the past, and I thought, wow, what a great organization. I hope I can see something where my experiences and an opportunity opened up at StartOut, which aligned, and now I'm here as the Director of Data and Insights.
You know, and you, Irene, have a really impressive background. I see you managed programs at Google and CBS Interactive, and then taking all that talent to start out, I think is phenomenal. What exactly do you do there? Like, what is the director of data and insights? I'd love to learn more about that.
Yeah, in terms of my role, my job is to help us understand the LGBTQ plus entrepreneurial community. So in 2023, I released a report on the state of LGBTQ plus entrepreneurship. So a lot of people will quote this, and I'm really glad that our information has gotten out there. But we studied over 2.1 trillion in startup funding raised after the year 2000. So we buy some data feeds, we get some pro bono, we have some of our own data here at StartOut, but we found that only 0.5% of startup funding went to out LGBTQ plus entrepreneurs. So people that we know through our big network here at StartOut, that there is not a lot of funding going to LGBTQ plus entrepreneurs, even though nationwide people have been kind of updating this number, but it's close to 10% nowadays, anywhere from 7 to 10%, depending on who you're seeing the reporting from. And we actually also found that LGBTQ plus entrepreneurs create 36% more jobs, more patents, and more exits, despite raising less funding compared to the average founder.
Wow. I always think the underdogs always try harder and, seem to flourish more, just like the data says. Um, I also love that the Lorenzo's other company, Gangels, is very focused on funding the LGBTQ community, and that syndicate is one of the largest in the country, I believe, in the world. So you would think those numbers would be better, but we need more than just that entity getting behind that community, and that's the bottom line. But I always like to bring attention to entities like that so more people know how they could invest in the LGBTQ community. And as maybe a member of the community, how they could get support as a business owner and entrepreneur. So it's great that StartOut has these products and services for them. Let's talk about what products and services you all have that they could take advantage of to help, create their successful business.
Yeah, so like you mentioned, Gangels, we help founders get connected to a variety of resources, whether it's getting introductions to investors directly or getting involved with their local community, mentioned like our online and offline events. So we have our in-person chapters, we have a bunch of online events that are all free. Anybody can go to startout.org and click on our events tab and get access to really great experts and really great mentors who host these free sessions that anybody can attend. We also have a mentoring program where you can get a mentor that you meet with. We kind of help facilitate you to meet a mentor who has expertise in the areas of your company or your areas of interest. And another thing I wanted to highlight is our Growth Lab program. We have an accelerator program where the founders get a kind of 6 month program where they get to meet weekly with their cohort. And at the end, there is a kind of graduation event where they can also be introduced to investors. There's kind of legal advice and legal guidance through a sponsor of ours. So there's a lot of different resources, kind of depends on what you're looking for.
That's great. So startout.org is where they would go to apply to be part of that cohort. Is the cohort in different cities or is it like a national cohort?
It's a national cohort, so it doesn't matter where you live. One of the things that I also look at through our data is that a lot of funding really goes to San Francisco, New York City, LA. It can be very challenging for an entrepreneur who doesn't live in these major metropolitan areas. So our Start Out Growth Lab is a virtual growth lab, though we will do alumni events in person at various locations. For example, we had our last one in Tulsa where alumni from the Growth Lab from different cohorts all flew in together, connected with other StartOut members, the local StartOut community, and just to get together and be able to build relationships and build community, which is, well, that's the whole point of what we do here at StartOut.
Yeah, no, you must feel it must be very fulfilling to be in that job, making such a difference with such a need there. And, like you said, 1 in 10 people falls into the LGBTQ plus community. They should be getting more funding. Otherwise, we're leaving great ideas and innovations, on the sidelines, and that affects everyone. It could be an LGBTQ person that has the cure for cancer or, something along those lines that would affect everyone. That's why it's so important that the funding happen for everyone. And I always say, one of the reasons that people don't get funding is because that a particular community isn't investing. And I love that, we're out there with our movie, Show Her the Money. We're out there with Angels and other entities saying, LGBTQ community, if you are an accredited investor, then you need to be investing in your own community because there's amazing ideas and businesses out there that aren't getting funding. And now you have no excuse because you know who to contact to get behind those entities, and that would be Angels. And also, we have the Silicon Valley Women Founders Fund, also focus on very much on diversity and getting behind all types of businesses because we believe in investing in the best ideas and not, generalizing it that it could only be a certain type of person that would have an idea or innovation that would impact the world. So we all need to open our minds up more, and this community needs to become more the investors, the ones sitting at the table deciding who's getting the funding. That's what's going to change this scenario, right?
Mhm. Yeah, I totally agree. And of the reasons why I'm so passionate about being involved in StartOut is that a lot of LGBTQ plus people lose the ability to rely financially on their families after coming out. I read a research report from Clear. They said that 73% could rely on family before coming out financially, but that number drops to 62% afterward. And the gap is even larger for transgender respondents. And 11% of LGBTQ plus people said they face discrimination in banking or financial services. So that's why I really feel like what we do here at StartOut, having a community of investors who are interested in diverse deal flow and having a community where people can, get connections, get resources, attend events where they can learn about all sorts of different things from, what is venture capital to how do you pitch or so many different like marketing strategy. Like we really offer a bunch of no cost events where people can attend and learn.
I love that. What an amazing community and service that you all provide. Do you have any success stories that you could share with us that kind of stand out to you?
Yeah, I think our growth lab, I'll highlight a few companies from our growth lab. So that is our accelerator program that we run. There's Maka from Avocademy. They built a tool that helps provide courses in UX and UI design to make it, very accessible. Like they charge a fee for people to take these courses, and a lot of graduates end up finding jobs in the field. UX and UI design is very popular these days, so user experience and user interface. And their company, when they started, they were not earning very much per month, and then that number jumped maybe I think 20x or something like that. So they were really gaining so much more revenue after going through the growth lab. They were able to find community, they were able to find people that they can be honest and share their struggles with, and people who are
Right.
encouraging and pushing them forward. And another
And,
one,
and how do you spell the name of that company?
Avocademy, Avocademy.
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 That's
So,
fascinating. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah,
yeah,
I
and
think a lot of
another,
people could use that type of service.
mhm. And then I just want to highlight one more success story, Joe Norris from Carbon Reform. And I'm actually very interested in environmentalism myself. So this is a really cool product. They create a carbon capsule that removes carbon and other bad VOCs from the air, and it captures it into a capsule, and that would also help reduce your buildings like cooling costs and also provide clean and better air for your building. And they want to make this a very accessible product in the future for everybody to be able to have something like this that can like remove carbon in the air, clean the air, and also be a good tool for like environmental stewardship. And they've secured over 5 million in funding from what I last saw. So they're another one of our Growth Lab alumni, Joe Norris from Carbon Reform.
I love that. That's a really cool one. That's what I love about the venture world, and I say this all the time, that you get to see what amazing innovations are coming down the pike, and all types of people create those innovations. So it's very important that we don't overlook any communities because it only is it detriment to the world at large, right? Well, thank you so much for the work that you do. And this is so incredible. And I hope that we share with people that'll check out startout.org to help support their efforts as an entrepreneur in the LGBTQ plus community. Thanks for the work you do. What's the best way to reach you all on the website, your social media?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn personally, Irene Tang, Irene, last name Tang, Tang. StartOut also has a LinkedIn where we post resources. We have a lot of other community partners where we'll also reshare helpful events or kind of programs that they're running. If people want to just check out startout.org, they can follow us there on our social media platforms and or email us at info@startout.org.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Irene, for your time today. Everybody, check out startout.org or even share that resource with other friends of yours in the LGBTQ community. And you can check out Irene on, LinkedIn, as she mentioned. Of course, I'm on there too, Catherine Gray. And our social media is, Instagram for Invest in Her, but also sheangelinvestors.com. And then, of course, the movie. You can visit us at showherthemoneymovie.com. We're also on social media. And then lastly, people want to learn about Silicon Valley Women Founders Fund. It's .vc, and we are on social. So one way or the other, please connect with me and Irene. We are here to help you, and we are so grateful for you to tune in today. Make it a great week, everybody. Thank you, Irene.
Thank you.